Well folks, welcome back. I'm on one of the lakes there called Wadmill. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many lakes they got here, but there's enough fish to fill your net a dozen times over. And some big ones as well, although I'm not on a big fish water, not really on a big fish water. I'm just here to catch fish. Now, as you saw in the last episode, I've got bream on the float inside. I've got a load of rudd. Like I didn't film, you know, regular size rudd, nothing huge, but action I got there. And that was just by waiting for a carp run during the daytime when I thought I wouldn't catch on. I finished that session, 8 carp, 7 doubles, the biggest I weighed on my brand new spring balances from the shop, 16 pounds. Well, I've been using my old rusty Super Samsons. I know they're 40 years old and seized up from saltwater fishing on high sea drifter and stuff. They haven't done any good, as it saltwater metal never goes well. I think some of those fish I've been catching are bigger than, you know, a couple of pounds or so bigger than I've been estimating. But I'm not bothered about fish sizes. I only bought those because I had a big one and it was 29 pounds. It couldn't be 30. I've had them over 30, but not in England. And it would be nice to get 15 pound barbel, something like that. Oh, it's a 30, just under 13. But sort of 15 pound, and I'd be sick, wouldn't I, if I didn't have scales. So I'm sort of not bothered, but I would be if I got the right size fish. Anyway, here I am again. I'm going to be having a cook up in a minute because I'm starving, and I've got a special type of cook up. Don't like to leave the screen. I've got my mesh stockings here, the last one of the same boilie I've been catching all afternoon on. I haven't changed from the first hookup I started with. I never do. I just keep going. And I had 8 carp. I can't believe that. In the daytime. It's got to quieten down during the night. Normally it's the other way round. Anyway, they're going to whiz this one out, and you guys can just tag along if you want and just see how it pans out tonight. I've got no idea myself. So, tonight, obviously, I'm not going to be float fishing. I'm waiting for the sun to go round. Very windy. I'm going to have a cook up down here. Fingers crossed it all goes well. I'm really tempted to just to wind the rods in for like 20 minutes to have something to eat. I'm really, really tempted. Maybe I should wind them in, chuck some bait out, let the fish settle down, let my stomach settle down, and the disaster of the day is, well, water on the lens. I've seen it already. Look at that. Oh God, hang on. What's that? Or my cleaning Smith's glasses. That's better. Disaster of the day is, I like to have a cup of tea instead of a can of beer. It's a beautiful summer evening. It's very, very windy. They gave up to 30 knots. I've come into this area purely because the sound of the microphone. You doubtless hear it in the mic and everywhere. Might be a bit noisy, but I can't help that. The fish are on the bite, that's the main thing. I've been fishing, float fishing in here with luncheon meat, put a little bit of ground bait out with some pellets in it, and I've been using Hotdog segments. I had a nice double figure carp, go about good 10 pounds on the Avon rod on a float. So that was a nice fish to catch, close in, right down here. But I'm not neglecting that. So I'm going to pile a load more bait in there, boilies this time, and then I'm going to obviously point blank fish one under there, because the last time I did it, not here, most of the time people chuck out here, and I got 2 in the middle of the lake. I haven't bothered to go near the island, I can't be bothered with that. The last time I had some really good fishing on another lake, really good. I had one just under 30, that's spectacular fishing. So, close in fishing. And the thing is, guys, you carp guys know it, I think the closer in you fish, when you get a take, it's a screamer. It's a real single tone screamer, because it picks it up, it's point blank on the rod. Better make sure you got your rod staked down, and you just, faster the buzzer goes, the faster you fall out. I nearly broke my thumb on a staging last time, not here at the other fishery. So, sort of looking forward to tonight, hoping there's a quiet spell that I can actually get maybe an hour's sleep, something like that. But hey, if I don't, I'm here to catch fish, not to sleep. Right, I'm going to have 5 or 10 minutes on that float, and then going to have something to eat. Hopefully you guys got that take then. That was weird, wasn't it, eh? Might have picked the other line up. So excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. Guys, just get the net. He's in. He's actually 13. I'm actually going to wind the rods in. It's mad, because somebody else is having a barbecue or something over there, or a cook-up, and I can smell it now, so it's even worse. Well, you know, so I'm going to wind the rods in. I think I'd better leave one out, because I mean, you got that tape absolutely on camera as I walked away, it was off. So I better leave one rod out there. So, let's get myself organised here. I'm going to need one of those little windshields to go around the cooker. And get rid of all this small stocking, which I really don't like. These boilies here are shelf life ones. They are last year's, so they are about 1.25 years old, and I'm still catching using them. And my hard ones, the hook bait ones, I've got some that are 3 years old, and I'm still using them. And I haven't changed the boilie, that's the 7th carp. I haven't changed the boilie off yet. I'm using the same boilie. It's catching fish after fish after fish. I am dipping it in that brown Pacific tuna stuff, There's loads of stuff out. There's loads of flavours, perfumes, whatever. And I do sometimes wonder if you just use ground bait and then put boilies over the top of that. Because I seem to do okay ground baiting, do you know what I mean? And then you just put your boilies in via either a solid bag or these mesh things. I'll get a couple more in there. For those of you who follow the totally awesome debacle of cookery, which mostly comes out of a tin, you will be in deep shock, I'm sure, to learn I'm going to have an attempt anyway, at a stir fry while leaving one rod out. I bought some prawns, I've got some sweet and sour sauce, I have got some upside down, can't read that, no, it does look like Chinese, Singapore style rice noodles, a dry roll, a portion of salad as prepared by my good lady wife, some extra virgin olive oil, which I'm told by my son Michael from TA Outdoors, who is very au fait with cooking in the outdoors, unlike me. Yes, it comes out of a tin, that's fine, it keeps me alive and gets me through the night. He says you need quite a bit of oil, and yes, indeed, it's Mike from TA Outdoors with his bushcraft cookery skills outside that said noodles do take quite a bit of oil, if not they will stick to the pan. Well, most of my stuff sticks to the pan anyway, and he didn't tell me how much is a bit more oil, so this could end up very bad. And what is my main course going to be? Prawns. Yes, indeed. It's not spag bol in a tin, is it? It's almost luxury cuisine. Well, it would be if it's cooked properly. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, that's hot. Note the wooden spoon, people. It's not for the Teflon. It's just that's what my family won in the last pub quiz. They asked us to spell our names. Is it enough oil? I don't know. It smells really good. But in yellow for some reason. And then the other thing I've got is this. Chinese inspired sauce. Carefully prepared with tamari, soy sauce, ginger, and 5 spice. I have 5 spice in it. Oh my god, it's Mr. 5 spice. Well, it tells me noodles only take like 5 minutes. I guess these will take 3 minutes to cook this and then 5 minutes to cook the noodles. I do have something of a reputation for burning everything, so I'm going to get these noodles in and put the sauce in at the same time, so I'm told. This could be disaster. God, it's gone very quiet. Is that good? Is that good when it goes quiet? It stopped all that sizzling business. Smells of, I think it's kiwi boot polish. I haven't eaten much of that, I must admit. Oh, I'm not sure about this one. I like sizzling, I must admit. more heat. More heat equals more burning. Well, I've got a bubble back, guys, so that must be good news. I wouldn't like to say that I've got much Teflon left in the pan. And it says on the bottom of these noodles it's got a bit of curry in it, so it could be a very noisy night in a sleeping bag. I think I'm nearly done. What do you think? Is that edible? Somebody tell me before I poison myself. I reckon everything will be moving with all this curry in there. I think my intestines will be keeping moving tonight. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be tasty. I'm going to call that done, people. What do you think? I think that's it. Quite a few noodles stuck to the pan. Yeah, Mike's right. They do stick. Pigeon thinks it's funny. And then to decorate, look at this. The wife's given me, and she said it's only, well, I use the word carefully, marginally tossed salad, whatever that means. I must admit, don't go there, Graeme, about that marginally tossed salad, Graeme. Don't even say anything. I don't think I've ever been marginally, oh no, you're not saying it, don't say it. Look at that, boys. Don't tell me that couldn't be served up in Battersea Dog's home. It's probably very nice. I reckon that's probably the best cook-up meal I've had, especially as I've lost the knife. There it is. Being Oriental, I'm going to use a knife, no, a spoon and a fork. Right, let's get this tried. Look at that, people. That's almost version unhealthy, I think. It's amazing how heat doesn't seem to go through these brown cords I've been wearing for the last 12 years. That's not halfway bad, actually. Let me know in the comments what you think your favourite food is for a cook-up when you're carp fishing. Are you like me, out of a tin man? Or do you actually like a fresh cook-up when you're on a decent carp session? Just leave me to eat this and I'll get back out fishing in a minute. I'm using the bigger whip stocking, just those little thin ones are just such a pain to fill. And I'm only putting about 7 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lied. How quick is that? And just put them in the bottom, bunch them down, because there's already bait out there. It's so close, I'm going to actually be catapulting some in as well in a minute before it gets dark, and that will be my sort of night feed, as it were, for them. I'm tying up some bags here, as you can see, just to finish this bag off. I'm going to keep those in that tube here, which is basically spare. Right, there's 1, 2, 3. And they're dry for the night. Oh, perhaps not. That's better. That's the end of that bag. It's lasted me a long time, that bag. Now, starting another one. Ooh. I wonder how long these will last me. They're bigger ones. The ones I've been baiting with are 15mm, these are 18s. Hopefully I don't get woken by bream or anything like that, or those F1s. Just carp. I only want a decent carp, double figure carp, that's all we're looking for. 20 would be nice. At the present time, that's going to go out now. One more, I'll do it. Present time, 16 is the largest I have weighed. Right, I've got all my bags tied up. I've got one to go on the hook here. I'm going out into the wind where I don't want to go because it's cosy in here now, and start fishing again. And then I'll clear up all this mess. Actually, I've got a rig of boilie on this one. So, I'm going to have to get rid of the old polarising glasses in a minute because I can't really see everything here. Getting a little bit darker. That's all ready. That's down. Chuck out time. Oh no, I've got to dip it in the juice. Fresh bag on, guys, and I'm on the power pole rod, unfortunately. I picked up the wrong rod. This was the one I was going to fish with down there in the margins later tonight. But nevertheless, there's a fish on here. It feels tippy, but up here is a lot more power. What I don't like is the length of the butt. I'm not wild about the length of the butt. I find it catches through here sometimes. I'm hoping he's going to come under my other line. Oh, nice fish. See if we can get him underneath there. Now I've got to worry about the bloody net. Right, we're back in action. What better setting than that, look, the light going round there. Bent rod, fish crashing around. It's nice common. Yeah, nice one. Is it in? Yeah. This is a nice fish, people. I've got him calmed down, hopefully. Yeah, he's a nice one. He's going to be up around the 15s, I'd imagine. 14s, 15s, 16s. 16. 17 I'll be calling that one. That is a nice one, guys. A fat one. I'm not going to do any holding pictures, you've seen enough, you know I'm kind of quite... I love those scales, look, it's like a painting. Let's get it back. Guys, I can't keep this up all night. It's number 11. Ridiculous. Nice golden tailed. Another double figure fish. I mean, that's ludicrous, and there's fish in here. Oh my god. Could be in for a long night. It has gone a little bit quiet on the rods at the moment, but I haven't put my last bit of bait in. So I'm going to put some hard ground bait balls with those pellets in there that I showed you in the first episode we had, and give them something to chew on. A few loose boilies, and that'll be me for the night. It'll be dark. But just one tip I will give you that I've been doing with these sections of Hotdog. I'm still getting bites from small fish, and as you can see here, let me show you the difference. That's my quadrant right there. If you turn it over, that's the skin part of it, and sometimes small fish They don't like that extra hard skin. So what I do is this, I cut a section off, segment, and I just get the knife and I just peel it around the edge, a bit like peeling an apple really. And obviously this goes in the water as well. You put it in your ground bait, they'll eat it. And then I cut that down the centre like this, and that gives me two nice soft meat sections there. Wind has at long last gone down. Hopefully you can just see this in the last of the light. I just push it in, that's the cross-cut section, right through the middle, carefully. This is about a size 10 hook, 12, turn it, I don't know if you're going to see, but the point is just sticking up from that, and it's really, really good for, well, a lot of species, but obviously carp, because carp eat pretty much everything. Peeling sections of hot dog can be really, really good. It's that much softer. If you're casting more distance, out in the middle, something like that, with a waggler float, sometimes I leave the skin on, but make sure the hook point is clear, otherwise you're trying to sink the hook through that tough skin into the fish. You've got to pull all the way through the actual outside of the hot dog. Not good. You're going to miss fish, you're going to bump them off. So I'm just seeing the last 20 minutes out here before I sort my bed and everything else out in there. I've got a ground bait up in a minute, and the float down there is just sitting, remaining fairly motionless. But I have had some more of those small bream. 5 minutes I think I'll bait up with the ground bait. Guys, I just pulled off of a fish there. You can see the scale on it. So that was a carp. That was on the float rod, just sitting there messing around. Gave me a hell of a thump and was out. Big scale. Not saying it's a big fish, but it's probably double figure carp. It's just about enough light for this camera. But that just goes to show you, I'm float fishing down here. I've only had one carp I had on the first programme you watched, the first part of this episode, and I've just had a big carp scale come back there. So you can see they come in close. It's just down there. It's even bits of skin where I peeled them, goes in, hopefully before the ducks find it. Well, just going to give it the barrage. I don't think the ground bait hit the water then when the rod went off. I try and fight it so that the fish goes one way or the other. Let's pull that up a bit for you. If he comes off, he comes off. What a fantastic evening. This one looks like a decent fish, guys. Quite big across the back. Might go double. Wow, we got him. Let's get him on the mat. There we go. It's a mirror. I'm not going to weigh him. It looks about 12 pounds. It's a nice looking fish. Well pleased. Let's get it back. I don't even know if I've got much memory card left. That's number 12. Hopefully you got that take. Well, it's probably about the smallest of the trip, about 9 pounds, I reckon. There you go. Yeah, I'd say he's about 9. And a quiet common, which is nice. Number 13. Here we go. Well, so people, it's gone quiet. It was bizarre. The fishing was really hot during the day, and it seemed slow. This gentleman across the other side, I think he said fish. I'm seeing it come on in the dark, so I'm going to try and have a lay down. I've been laying out there watching the satellites go over, seen a couple of shooting stars. The moon is what we call going down, as it were, so it was the first crescent coming up. Now that's actually sinking below the horizon. That's gone, so it's nice and dark. So you think the fish, wouldn't you think it'd be going crazy? No. That last one I had was right in the close where I was float fishing before. Well, not barely a rod length out. So I'm nearly out of battery on this one. I'm going to switch batteries. It says 6 minutes left. I think it's 6 minutes. Yeah. It is what it is. Another couple of fish would be nice. Right, change his batteries and I might even get 20 minutes sleep. I'm fighting the fish from inside the bivvy. It's just gone off after I changed the camera batteries. He's off. I've got to tangle this. I've got to sort this out. The reason I brought that one in, I think I cast too far because I'm getting just 1 and 2 bumps on the buzzer, and I think that's generally because I've cast past the baited area and fish are bumping into the line. So I'm going to put the light on it and I'm going to drop it closer in. There we go guys, another one. Middle of the night. Let's have a look at it. It's number 15. Fish looks about 14-ish, that sort of pounds. Been very quiet all night. Something to be woken up in the middle of the night, eh? Oh. There we go. Back in action. Keep my hat on because I put it over my face like this, trying to keep any mosquitoes off, and that way I haven't got my hoodie up and I can still hear the buzzer go off. Obviously you can see outside it's now dawn. Seems like the wind's going to come up again, but there was, I don't know, it's weird last night. I mean, that first episode I did, the fish were all over me in the daytime. Now I think the ducks are all over me in the daytime. Same direction, winds southwesterly. Back in action with the dawn chorus. A stiff breeze. This one I don't want to give up. It's like a mirror car. Now this one is a really prettily marked one, pretty scale. It's got one scale missing there. Nice looking fish. That's the other side of it. It's got beautiful big scales on it. Look at those scales. Now, I'm not carp nut, but that's lovely markings on it. Let's get it back. Well, it is indeed the next morning about 9 o'clock. It just didn't kick off at night like it did yesterday afternoon. And there's a low pressure that must have come in, maybe a weather front. And when we used to go marlin fishing, when you get that, I'm going to call it bad weather coming in, just before the bad weather, the marlin used to go nuts. So on the bite, that's you were always out until it's as rough as you could stay out. And I do wonder whether well, I know the pressure systems affect all fish, but whether that is what's happened here, because the gentleman over the other side even moved like 5 o'clock in the morning, which is unusual. So one assumes he wasn't getting what he thought he should get in that particular area, and he threw loads of bait in. I'm putting any more bait in, just those little bags. But the other thing that I've been happy with is everybody in carp fishing world, generally, if you have an island, they're going to cast to the end of it. I've done the same myself. That's just the way it is. I generally go past the end so that I don't go too close to the bush and get hung up. For the last couple of three trips, I thought, all the bait's going in there, isn't it? It's all the bait's going on the end. Everybody knows, goes, end of the island. Right. So you'd say, well, that's where the most bait goes. If it's also where the most impact of leads and the most pressure goes. So I sometimes wonder, and I know fish do like to get away from angling rod pressure, they come towards the middle of the island, you know, out the way, round the edges. We know they go round the edges. And I fished in the middle. Okay, so I've done pretty good in the last 2 or 3 trips. So I've been changing my tactics, as it were, and it might pay you to give it a go anyway. Think there's too much pressure on the ends. What would you do if you're getting banged on the head all the time? You would move eventually, wouldn't you? The other thing I do is stick to my ground bait regime, because I'm sure that putting those small fish in does help, no question of that. So I've got the 3-rod licence, and obviously a lot of people have those. You pay extra money. In the UK I'm talking, the rod's a licence. Before you even go fishing, you have to have a rod licence just to hold a fishing rod. So if you got 2 rods, I used to do this for years. You think it's funny, do you? I know where you live. The thing is, I used to do for years a lot of tench fishing, more so than carp fishing really. Carp fishing I wasn't too worried about. I ground bait one swim and I put 2 baits side by side, not that close, but you know, 5-6 feet apart. So I got a pair of rods there. Now I've been thinking, most of the waters I go, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing, do I? You know, I just go fishing. So you have to try and evaluate it all the time. And I'm going now 1, 1, 1. So I'm really opening it right up. And that's really stood me in good stead for numbers. And I've had one of my best couple of 3 sessions actually this year. Well, this year, ever. By doing that, by spreading it out, going 1 over there, or 1 over there, or 1, 1, or if you have a 3-rod licence, going 1, 1, 1. And 1 I keep in the margins. I'm not into all the distance casting. So I can't sort of see it kicking off like it did yesterday afternoon. Something's changed them. Something's turned them off. So, you'd think I would, after having a couple of 3 hours dozing in the bivvy, I'd be going home. No, I'm going to pack all this up. It'll take me an hour, 3 wheelbarrowfuls back to the car, and then I'll go to another lake, which they said is rarely fished really, not as heavily as some of these others, and it's one of the oldest lakes here. So it's sort of off-site, I think. I've got to go and find out up in the tackle shop what's going on there. And because I haven't bought that cup, I've now had that meal in the billy can, so I can't have a cup of tea. Luckily, there's a cup of tea place up there, a little kiosk, so I feel I'll be having a nice, hot, sweet cup of tea. Okay guys, that's it for this one. Been a really good, well, double episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I haven't had that big bream, but I did try. I'm going to hang on for like 20 minutes. I might have a go float fishing. We'll see you in the next one. If you can get out fishing, give it a go. There's a lot of people I've met here that say they watch the TA fishing show. It got them into fishing. One guy was spending God knows how much on a really fancy seat. That tackle shop up there's got virtually everything you could ever want really. And I think they can order it in anyway, you know, if it's something that you want that they haven't got in the shop. So worth coming down to Todber. Day ticket water. It's not all secret squirrel stuff, you know. Bookable. Phone up, always phone up while you can. So guys, hit that subscription button, TA Fishing, TA Outdoors. Go across and see what Mike's up to on the TA Outdoors channel. And don't forget, I think you still have to hit that notification bell that tells you when our films go up. Because, like, as I speak from this week, I'm going to try and bung 3 films up in 1 week. But if you only think they go up Friday, they don't. Very often I throw other stuff up midweek. We'll see you in the next episode. I'm not looking forward to packing this lot up. Let's get cracking.